It's interesting that in the United States, where youth sports is king, that our youth don't do that well on the international scene. We've got all the club soccer and all these club basketball, club track and field, and all these sports and whatnot. But then when you look at the big meets, especially in track and field, there's lots of young people running really, really fast around the world. But the Americans just don't seem to be doing it. We started off, especially in distance running, with Jim Ryan, the sensation, going under 4 minutes for the mile when he was in high school. And, you kind of thought, well, how come that didn't continue on? There was, some stories of like Jerry Lundgren, killing it in high school and running against the Soviets and people like that. But, you just didn't really see it. And then there just became this almost myth of like, you've got to wait till they get older, and we don't want to burn them out in high school, and let's prepare them so that like in their late 20s or early 30s is when they're going to really become the super fast and hit their potential. But that's not the case anymore. I've been watching the Tour de France, and Lance and company have been talking on the Move podcast about how all these young 20-somethings, like the Slovakian kid is like in second right now, Pogačar, he's like 22 years old, and a lot of the other ones are in their early 20s or so, and they're doing really well in these multi-day stages. And it used to be the philosophy that they couldn't just come and crush these 3-week events, but now they're doing really well. And what I'm kind of moving on to is like track and field, and how you're seeing more and more young people running some phenomenal times and doing some phenomenal performances. Like Duplantis just cleared 6.15 meters and broke the outdoor world record. Well, today also we had in the Rome Diamond League, Jacob. Kiplimo tops Ingebrigtsen 7:26 to 7:27 in the fastest 3K showdown in Rome. And so this was a 3,000 meter race that is odd that we have, but these two guys are only 19 each. Ingebrigtsen is the European record holder in the 1500, and Kiplimo is the Uganda's world cross-country silver medalist who recently ran 12:48 for 5,000. He's silver medalist in the world championships at 19, and they lived up to the hype. Where this evening they ran at the 2020 Golden Gala, Rome's Diamond League meeting, and they were helped with a near perfect even pace for the first 1,700 meters by a former Old Miss runner, Sean Tubin of Ireland. He split 3:59.6 for 1,600 meters, so just around sub 4, almost sub 4. He went 59.5, 60.1, 60 flat, and then Australian Stuart McShewan then kept things honest and ensured a fast time would be in the cards as he ran 59.74 for the 1,800 to 2,200. And then just before the bell lap, and the last lap was 60.42, Ingebrigtsen took the lead from McSweeney and Kiplimo, moving in a second. With 200 to go, it became clear this was going to be a two-person battle between the two Jacobs. In the end, this is what is happening in the finishing straight. And basically, it's like the distance guy, the world championship guy, Kiplimo, outkicked the 1,500-meter ace, proving yet again that a kick doesn't come down to who's the fastest, but rather who has the most left in the race. Kiplimo closed in an unofficial 56.5, 27.8 for the final 200. And that goes to show you, you can have, I always say all the time, people come to me and say, Andy, I got to work on my speed. And I'm like, no, you got plenty of speed. You just don't have the strength to maintain the speed you have. And the way you got to build strength is by doing the miles and doing the proper kind of training. So it was definitely an exciting race. Both men were rewarded with huge personal bests and national records, as Kiplimo won in 7:26.64, and his previous best was 7:43. Wow, he just crushed that by 17 seconds. And Ingebrigtsen was second in 7:27. His previous best was only 8 flat, so he took 23 minutes off, but he split faster at a 5,000. And then McSween was richly rewarded for keeping this pace honest after Rabbit dropped out, and he got an Australian record of 7:28. His previous best was 7:34. Fourth place Italian also set an Italian record with 7:38. So it's definitely been a great summer for fast running. Kind of shows you that, I often complain that, recreational runners race too much. Well, even the pros race too much, and of course they do it because, they want to get paychecks. But, it's just definitely the case of just training and focusing on a few races definitely helps out. Kiplimo is now the 8th fastest in the all time, and Ingebrigtsen is number 9. and it's the fastest. Kiplimo's his time is the fastest time recorded in almost 13 years. When Kennesayo Bekele ran 7:25 in 2007. So that's the thing you're seeing too, is times that haven't been seen in 15, 16 years have been hitting it. And Ingebrigtsen's is number 2 time in European history and should be considered the European record, as European record holder was busted for EPO back in 2002. So in terms of national records, the previous Ugandan record holder, Moses, was, and Jacob's brother owned the other record. So pretty good times and definitely fun to watch. Hopefully we'll see some our action coming up in October. We've got the World Championship in the half marathon. We have Jakob Kiplimo going for the 10,000 record. So it should be a pretty exciting October as well. And I almost forgot, the London Marathon is going to be awesome. It's on a looped course with the fastest and the best out there. So this was Andy Noy's Experience. Please subscribe to my channel. And as always, stay healthy, be boring, not epic.